CTV News at 5 with Marina Moore and Tony Rima with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Ministers from the provincial government are reacting to the accusations made at a press conference yesterday from First Nation chiefs in northwestern Ontario affected by wildfires. The chiefs say the government has not been in regular contact with their leadership, even when the Premier and several ministers visited Thunder Bay over the weekend. They're calling for an independent inquiry on the MNR's response time and what they say was a lack of communication and evacuation orders. Minister of Energy, Emergency Preparedness and Response, Jill Dunlop, refutes that, saying she and her staff have been talking with First Nations.
Well, I can tell you that I personally have had 2 Zoom calls with Chief Fiddler. And we had a call last week where there was a couple of questions that came up that my ADM, who was acting deputy at the time, was able to follow up with the chief. And then we had a call again this morning and kind of went through a few more things. But my Provincial Emergency Operations Center has coordinated calls with all of the impacted communities. So there has been a lot of communication back and forth between First Nation communities, with myself and with my colleagues and our ministry officials as well.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Natural Resources released a statement this morning saying, in part, "We are in constant contact with First Nations communities and have taken action to improve coordination this fire season, including requesting assistance from the federal government to speed up evacuations and support." Both Dunlop and the ministry responsible for the MNR says it's customary to hold an after-action review to look for and address improvements for future response. Time now for our first check on weather, and the sun is shining, but it's been a little bit on the cooler side. For more details, we go to CTV's Amanda Hicks, filling in for Tony Rima.
Thanks for that, Marina. I think we got a little bit of taste of sweater weather in July today, that's for sure. Your first look at weather is brought to you by CAA. You can become a member at getcaa.ca. So it was quite the breezy day out there, that's for sure. That made things a little bit cooler, saw a little bit of sun, little bit of cloud, a little bit of everything, but we are going to get a bounce back as we get closer to the weekend. Some warmer conditions on the way, but with that, of course, there is the chance of some showers. I'll have those details coming up a bit later on, but for now, Marina, back to you.
All right, thank you for that, Amanda. Another arrest has been made in the murder of a 41-year-old man at the Energy Court homeless encampment in Sudbury. Police have been investigating the homicide since June 11th after a body was found inside a burned-down tent. A 31-year-old man was arrested at 3 this morning at Energy Court. He's been charged with first-degree murder, arson, and possession of a weapon. A second man was arrested last month in connection with the same murder. Police in North Bay have arrested 5 people for trafficking and other charges after an investigation into a robbery. Officers were called to a robbery in the 500 block of McNamara Street last week. They identified and located the 5 suspects over 2 days and executed search warrants at residents on McPhail and McNamara Streets. Police seized a 9mm handgun and ammunition, along with more than $67,000 in illicit drugs and cash. One of the 3 suspects were from 3 of the suspects were from Greater Toronto Area, 2 from North Bay. The charges include robbery, trafficking, and possession of a weapon. We have an emerging situation in Fort Albany First Nation on the James Bay coast involving its water plant. According to Facebook posts, it's not producing enough water for the entire community. This has left Sinclair and Anderson Islands without water since 11 p.m. last night. The service shutdown is intended to allow the system to build up supply. Water is expected to be flowing again this evening, though a time was not provided. While they're not evacuating residents, they say they are looking at that as an option. The First Nation is citing mechanical issues, a lack of available parts, and the overall age of the infrastructure for the water shortage. Reaction continues tonight to the 50% tariffs U.S. President Donald Trump announced Monday. In a statement, President and CEO Derek Nyber of the Forestry Product Association of Canada writes in part, tariffs on the very materials used to build homes, renovate properties, and support North American construction supply chains will only make housing more expensive for American families. These actions will increase costs on our American neighbors, full stop. The Sault Ste. Marie Chamber of Commerce also putting out a statement on the tariffs, saying the Sault's local economy has already been hit hard by tariffs in steel, forestry, and other export-dependent sectors. Adding these new measures threaten jobs, investment, and the competitiveness of businesses on both sides of the border. They go on to say measured strategic responses are needed to protect Canadian businesses. Canada Nickel Company's Crawford Nickel project north of Timmins is one step closer to the construction phase. Today, the company announced the Impact Assessment Agency of Canada has submitted the final report to the Minister of the Environment and Climate Change. The minister's final approval is expected within 30 days. The project is expected to create more than 4,000 jobs, and Canada Nickel is hoping to start production in late 2027. Two agencies have partnered to provide youth in Greater Sudbury with resources and support they may need to find employment. CTV's Angela Gemmel reports.
To do mock interviews or any of that one-on-one support with youth so that it's a space that is quieter.
Camila Francis shows off one of 3 meeting rooms at the Youth Wellness Hub in downtown Sudbury. They'll be used by employment professionals to provide advice and guidance to young people searching for a job.
The Youth Wellness Hub, it's all about mental health and wellness, and part of that is having a job. And so we realized that employment is really important part of that pathway to ensuring that youth are feeling well and secure, especially financially.
The Wellness Hub is operated by the nonprofit Child and Youth Mental Health Agency known as Compass. They've partnered with Spark Employment Services to provide youth-focused employment support to be delivered from the downtown space.
Youth are already attending the Youth Wellness Hub and participating in their program. It's already a place that they feel comfortable in, that they trust, and so now we're bringing our services there to meet their needs so that they don't have to come to a new location.
Employment experts from Spark will help youth with skills like resume writing, job searches, and other tailored coaching.
One of the ones that I think is kind of cool is the interview prep, so being able to practice interviewing in real time with someone. I think that always helps to be able to practice answering interview questions. So that's something that, again, Spark will be able to help with, and then we're excited we'll have here.
But we're also going to bring in our Francophone Navigator program, so we're going to be also able to provide services to the Francophone youth.
Employment services begin here at the Youth Wellness Hub starting tomorrow, with a few sessions planned throughout the summer before it becomes weekly scheduled support this fall. Angela Gemmel, CTV News, Sudbury.
Time now for a quick break, but coming up on CTV News at 5, Amanda will have your full weather forecast. For now, let's take a live look at conditions in Sudbury, where it's been a sunny but cool kind of day. Enjoy the sun because rain may be returning. Stay with us for those details.
Big thanks to everyone who entered Win Your Way In to Boots and Hearts with CTV and Pure Country, featuring the Jonas Brothers, the Chicks, Rascal Flatts, and more. Congratulations to Donna Fortier. You've won a pair of weekend passes, including camping and parking. Boots and Hearts, August 7th to the 9th in Burroughs Creek, Ontario.
Conditions were easy breezy, beautiful out there today. Temperatures falling below the normal for this time of year, but that is going to change as we continue and get closer to the weekend. Moving ahead though, things are pretty clear as we start Thursday. Cloud coverage moving in, things changing a little bit as we advance into Thursday evening. A little bit of scattered precipitation here and there, and then by the time Friday rolls around, a chance of a shower here and there as well. Let's get into the 5-day forecast, starting with Sudbury Nickel Belt. So we've got sunshine in the morning, clouding over by the afternoon, sitting at 24 degrees. Chance of showers on Friday, sitting at 25, which is the normal for this time of year. Chance of showers throughout the weekend, and we're hovering around normal for this time of year. So pretty comfortable conditions for the most part. For Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, cloudy skies for tomorrow, high of 25. It will feel a little bit warmer than that with a humidex. Chance of showers on Friday. still at 25, chance of showers throughout the weekend, and then dropping down 1 degree by the time Monday rolls around. For Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, chance of showers, risk of thunderstorms for tomorrow, high of 24, bumping up to 27 degrees on Friday to start the weekend with a chance of showers. Showers expected on Saturday. Going to be a nice cozy day, maybe to be inside on Saturday, continuing into Sunday with a chance of showers sitting at 23 degrees. For Timiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, sunshine in the morning, clouding over by the afternoon, 25 degrees, 26 on Friday, chance of showers, hopefully a little bit of sunshine there, chance of showers throughout the weekend, and then similar story on Monday, sitting at 24 degrees. And finally for North Bay, West Nipissing, mainly sunny skies for tomorrow, high of 24, 25, the normal for this time of year. On Friday with a chance of showers on Saturday as well, getting up to 26 and a chance of showers on Sunday, just a 30% chance. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it doesn't rain, but I mean, the gardens will love it. The plants will love it. And we'll be sitting at 24 degrees. And then by the time Monday rolls around, a chance of showers to start the week. So Marina, we're getting up to the normal for this time of year. We saw a cooler day out there today, but it's not bad. Sending it back to you.
I agree with you on that, Amanda. Thanks for that. The City of Timmins is joining a national initiative aimed at strengthening the response to hate and discrimination. It's one of 10 Canadian communities selected to take part in the program. The initiative is led by the Canadian Centre for Safer Communities, with Timmins working alongside community justice initiatives and the Stronger Cities Network. The partnership will examine community needs and develop a plan specific to Timmins. The project will also build on the city's existing hate and discrimination reporting tool.
The goal of the project overall is to strengthen local capacity to address factors that lead to polarization, hate, and violent extremism. So we want to create structures locally that can exist past the life of this project that will address some of those risk factors that contribute to polarization or hate in local communities.
I think what will come of this is a collection of really important data that will help us be able to inform new approaches or strategies. And so if we recognize trends and a certain kind of hate or discrimination online, certain groups that are being targeted, that could help us better implement actions that are going to target those issues specifically.
And the city says more details about the local project will be shared as the work moves forward. North Bay's Deputy Mayor Maggie Horsfield announced today she's gunning for the top job on City Council. In a social media post, Maggie Horsfield says after discussions with her family and the public, she filed her papers to enter the race for mayor. In her time on council, Horsfield says she has developed a strong understanding of municipal finances, strategic planning, and accountable decision making. She will be up against City Councillor Jamie Lowry and newcomer Connor Curry. Councillor Dan Seguin also indicated he will run, but hasn't yet filed. Incumbent Peter Chirico has not indicated whether he will run in October. Coming up on CTV News at 5, an historic reunion. Players from a 1976 championship hockey team in North Bay come together after 50 years. After years of planning, a new seniors housing development in Smooth Rock Falls is moving into the construction phase. The Smooth Rock Falls Attainable Housing Corporation, in partnership with the town, has begun construction on the new development. The project will create 20 accessible two-bedroom rental units for residents aged 55 and older on municipally owned land near the hospital. The first residents are expected to move in by fall of 2027.
Seniors have to leave their communities because they can't find appropriate housing. And that's a terrible story. We hear this over and over again. Like every community we go into, they've been trying to get one of these projects going for 10 and 20 years. You know, we come in and we do a business plan, we do a needs analysis, we do public meetings, we meet with people, and even before we start building, the place is practically filled.
The project already has 15 people signed up, with more than 100 others on a waiting list. We're told rent for a 2-bedroom unit is expected to be around $1,700 a month. It was an historic moment in North Bay's sports history. The 1976 win by the North Bay Trappers. Today, 17 players from the championship team reunited at the arena where they made history 50 years ago. CTV's Eric Tashner reports.
Bob Whittick was 14 years old when he was swept up by the North Bay Trappers phenomenon in 1976.
The Big Red Machine, they were called in the day.
He made sure to bring his stick to get his childhood hockey heroes to sign it. The city was in euphoria, rallying around the Trappers when they won the Junior A Provincial Championship 50 years ago.
Like, I think we were all hanging off the Raptors up top.
Named one of the top 20 teams over the past 100 years at a recent North Bay Sports Hall of Fame event, that championship series, folks say, captured the city like nothing ever had.
Of all the things that have happened, I think, in hockey in our North Bay, this thing is the most iconic moment.
The Trappers were down 3-0 in the series, but rallied back. It went to an unprecedented Game 8 due to the point system at the time. Going into Game 7 away from home, both teams were tied with 6 points.
Joey Omicelli scores 3 minutes into overtime to take the lead, and then North York score with 3 seconds left in the timed overtime, and the rules said that was it. So now they each have 7 points in an 8-game series.
We had young guys that were really good hockey players that could put the puck in the net. We had role players, we had enforcers, we had seasoned veterans.
Over a dozen buses full of Trappers fans made the trip to North York. Then when the team pulled back into the city that night, the lineup for Game 8 tickets astonished them.
3 a.m. and they did not go home. They went right, they were standing in line, wrapped around, so that when that tickets opened.
The Trappers won Game 8 5-2, sending the city into jubilation. Former NHLer turned Los Angeles Kings color commentator Jimmy Fox has been around many arenas, but none touch his heart like Memorial Gardens did.
We were the only northern team in the league, so to speak, so I think everyone really bonded together.
Some of the players ended up settling in North Bay. Many moved on, and this reunion has been decades in the making. A hockey moment they and their fans will not soon forget.
Truly Hockeyville, you know, back in the day.
Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
How great is that? The Sioux Greyhounds continue to build their bench with the announcement of a second assistant coach. Patrick Jarrett will be joining the team from Pennsylvania, where he coached U16 and U18 clubs. Jarrett has spent some time coaching in the OHL, clocking 2 seasons with the Hamilton Bulldogs, as well as playing for the Mississauga Ice Dogs back in the day. He may be coming from the States to take on this new position, but coaching the Hounds will be a homecoming, as he was born and raised in Sault Ste. Marie. When we return, your community close-up. You're watching First at 5. Our first community close-up takes us to Elliott Lake and a popular place to enjoy wildlife and nature. Scott Hellman visited the Sheriff Creek Bird Sanctuary and spotted what he believes to be an American bittern. It's a bird in the heron family. Online articles say this bird is known to be secretive and that because of its incredible camouflage, you're much more likely to hear them than see them. So great find, Scott. And we don't have a location for this one, but Kathy Balden happened to spot a group of monarch butterfly caterpillars munching on some milkweed plants. I just love looking at these caterpillars. They're so beautiful and bring me right back to being a child searching for them in North Bay. Thanks for sharing this, Kathy. And isn't this just the most peaceful view? Della Fortier captured this stunning sunset at Barbers Bay in the Timmins area. And from the cotton candy colors in the sky to the mirror-like calm on the water, I don't think you can get much better than this. Enjoy for all of us, Stella. And if you have any pictures, videos, or events you'd like us to showcase, email them to us at communitycloseup@bellmedia.ca. Don't forget to include your name, location, and a short description. Finally for us tonight, Purolator is retiring 16 trucks across Canada, and one retiring truck is from Sudbury and will stay in Sudbury. It's been donated to the local food bank. CTV's Madison Merrier has the story.
This morning, Purolator changed the license plates and gave away the keys for the truck as it embarks on a new career.
The truck has done well for us in what we do for delivering, and with us being passionate about helping the food banks, it's great to see that we're able to once again donate a truck from our facility that still has some life left that can provide some support to the food bank.
I think that this truck in the broader vision is going to be used to enhance what we're able to do to meet that need, and we're really excited and we're really proud. There's only one of 16 trucks across Canada, and we were very fortunate to get one here in Sudbury.
Just last week, one of the food bank's trucks broke. Labby says this donated truck will help them maintain their fleet.
We've got deliveries coming in from all of we have about 16 grocery partners across the city that we're getting, reclaimed food that's not going to the landfill. Last year, we diverted over 450,000 pounds of food from the landfill through that program. So it's important for us not just to distribute the food to the food banks, but also the food that's coming into the food bank and keep that flowing.
The food bank says the need for food has grown with 579 new users in the first quarter of this year. They say the truck will help them make food banks more accessible across the city.
We also know from all of our statistics that the majority of people who are using our food banks now are working poor. They're facing food insecurity, and how are they able to leave their second job or their main job during the day to access a food bank in their area if it's only open for a 2-hour window during the day? So I think that this truck in the broader vision is going to be used to enhance what we're able to do to meet that need.
Purolator employees also personally donated over 200 pounds of food and around $145 to support the food bank in addition to the truck. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
And on that note, we'll wrap up our 5 o'clock show, but there is more news for the North coming up at 6. For now, continue watching as we hand things over to CTV National News.